Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make semi-realistic grass with pixel art. And if you've noticed, I made this very fancy template for y'all, and you can download it for free on my Ko-Fi. I'll have a link to it in the description below. So for the first steps, I recommend just creating this green like mid-tone for like your grass. So like just a rectangle. And I also made a color palette for this, so it's like more easier to figure out for the lighting and the shading. And I used 5 colors for this, so it's like it looked pretty good. And something I also recommend when doing this is to practice, because I mean, sometimes you might mess up, but you'll learn from it, you know? So next, what I did is I used this sort of like in-between dark green, and what I did is I made like these little, like, not straight lines exactly, but they're sort of curved. So kind of like that. And then there's also some grass that's like going sideways. It's like going over it or like behind it. Now, I also recommend when making pixel art grass, like as a beginner, to use layers, because it'll allow you to sort the different colors differently. Like it'll look really better. And like, because if you're like once you've done it after a while, it won't be that hard, but as a beginner, I just recommend using different layers. So for the next step, I recommend, so like what I did is I just put a layer behind what I just talked about, and I used this lighter green right here. And what I did is I just I increased the size by like, this is like the 2 pixel size, and what I did is I just sort of like painted behind the darker green strands to give it that lighting. So I mainly did it on the tops, if that makes sense. And I also turned it into a 1 pixel brush to like do like little spots here and there for the lighting. And this is what it looks like. So what I did is I made like 2 versions of it to show you the layer of what I did, just to make it more easier for y'all to understand. And now for the next step is the shading. This is where your grass pixel art is going to start really getting to look really good. So I used the darkest color right here, and what I did is I just used like the 1 pixel brush for this one. And for, if you notice, like this like mid-tone green I used earlier, so what I did is I placed this darker green like in between, sort of towards the bottom, but a little bit to the top here and there, spots to create the shadows. So the next step I recommend is to erase the grass. So this might be a bit confusing. So like when I first showed how we had this like green rectangle, so if you notice in the finished product, there's like obviously like the strands sticking out. What I would recommend is that the layer that you did the rectangle on, is that you would erase it where like the strands like pop out. Because if you notice, like this is what I'm talking about. You want to erase this green right here, like here, you know, here and stuff. And now to add the finishing touches, you want to add the second lighting, and it's going to make the grass like pop out really good. So I used the last color from the coloring palette, this like sort of like yellowish lightish green, mint, I guess you could say. And what I did is I just put the green on like the top of the grass, and then I added some like here and there, because like the lighting, what it's gonna do is that it's gonna like shine through the grass. too. So you're gonna have like little speckles of light throughout it.